when you're old,
Not with
you're
you,
not
honest.
confident talking publicly.
Gone to me.
He's not gone. That's a conspiracy theory. Of course he's making them.
How?
How?
He literally just called Trump the sitting president.
I've seen the videos. We've seen the same thing.
He doesn't know where he's at.
Between Biden and Trump?
I don't like Biden at all either.
I get it, but that's, wow.
What do you think of Gavin Newsom?
Just had him on my show.
I know. I thought you were a little soft there. Thought you could have gone a little harder on the guy.
Bill, you still crushing on Gavin? Hey fam, welcome and welcome back to One and Done. We're back at Club Random and Bill Maher is interviewing Jillian Michaels. Now we're going to be touching on some familiar subjects including Joe Biden, his mental state, Bill Maher's TDS with Donald Trump. But don't worry, this is not going to go up in smoke. Jillian Michaels is here and she's going to give us some great based takes. She's going to pull Bill back into line, and without delay, let's roll that tape.
Seeing the pattern. And so, you know, that's why I say Biden, I wish he would get out of the way for somebody younger, but as far as can he actually do the job? Yes, he can. He's not senile. And most of the decisions are made
you think he's not senile?
He's not senile.
Bill! Did you see the thing where like, the Civil War and you needed more airports? And he's like, whoa! You think he's not senile?
He's not senile.
But Bill.
That's different.
What is that then? It wasn't happening like that when he was Obama's VP.
It doesn't, no, of course, he's a lot older and he shows it.
Let's get an update just for Billy the Kid.
86% think Biden is too old to serve, following that bombshell classified documents report that questioned his memory.
In the end, he's got to take a cognitive test, and they should release the transcript of the interview that led the special counsel to say, this man, you can't even prosecute him. He's not compos mentis. There isn't anyone who would give the guy a regular job. Would you employ Joe Biden for anything? No.
Doesn't affect what matters. He doesn't, when they're talking in the Oval Office, first of all, he doesn't talk like that because he's just not, when you're old, you're not confident talking publicly.
Gone to me.
He's not gone. The brain is not gone. The decisions.
He's left the
boat. Do you think he's making them? I don't think he's making them.
Oh, that's a conspiracy theory. Of course he's making them.
How?
How?
He literally just called Trump the sitting president the other day.
And Trump just he did a whole rant.
Did I just tell you Trump was mentally sound?
No, but he did the same thing. People get up in the upper years, and then, especially when you're like talking in public a lot, you know, it's going to happen. It doesn't affect.
All right, let's stop it right there because let's face it, Biden can't even do a 3-minute speech, whereas Trump can do easily 2.5 hours. And Biden goes off a script, whereas Trump, he doesn't need a script. You just can't compare the two. But TDS runs deep in Bill Maher, as we've seen in the past. He can't let it go.
Bill.
Okay. Don't give me Bill like in this area. I'm the one who doesn't know shit. Maybe you don't. I'm not saying you don't know shit.
No, I'm not claiming to know anything about politics, but watch the friggin' videos of the guy.
I've seen the videos.
He can't get off the stage.
That's not true either.
He can't even find the staircase. There's one on the left and one on the right, and he doesn't know which one to go on. And on the way there, he's going to trip up. You know it.
I've seen the videos. We've seen the same thing.
The bicycle store. He doesn't know where he's at. You think the guy knows? Okay. I mean, because
okay. Point area explored. We have a difference of opinion.
Fair. You can school me on it. Tell me.
Nobody knows. I'm just telling you. When he's sitting alone, not alone, when he's sitting with advisors in the Oval Office, where the job is actually done, not in this arena, which has you so interested in, this shiny object.
Shiny object?
It's the shiny object that is distracting you because you're not in the Oval Office.
You think, Bill, that he can sit in a room with big decision makers and tell them what to do? He can't even come and do a 3-minute speech off script, off a teleprompter to the general public. Have you even seen the polls? Have you been listening to people? Do you ever leave this club random?
Looks demented. And I don't mean demented crazy. I mean like dementia.
Looks.
In your opinion.
Okay.
I mean, to me, those are signs of dementia.
Yeah, they both have some. Probably everybody does at that age. Probably everybody does. I
And then
mean,
maybe
do you ever
any-
walk into a room and you forget why you walked into the room?
I think
Either.
there are
Well,
degrees of this.
Of course,
and
there
he's
are degrees.
advanced on this
exactly,
spectrum.
and that's what we're talking about, degrees. You think the degree, I think it's ridiculous. You apparently think I'm ridiculous.
I don't think you're ridiculous.
That's
I do. You're damn ridiculous. You are super deranged if you can compare Biden to Trump. I don't think we've ever seen a politician at this level, whether he's president, prime minister of a country, be this incoherent. He turns up to a press conference and he's like a kid first day at school, looking around. Who are these people? Where am I? Who are these people? He's naming dead people. He's having conversations with dead people. And it's actually getting quite sad at this point. So
kind of your tone, yes, that I'm ridiculous to even think of this.
I think I'm surprised that it doesn't alarm you. That's all.
It
I
doesn't.
don't think you're ridiculous. I
What
can't
alarms
understand
me
why it
is
doesn't
that he's
alarm
going to
you.
lose the election because this is how he looks in public. That's what alarms me. It doesn't alarm me. Like, what is he going to do when they come to him tomorrow when he's in the Oval Office at 9:30 a.m.? He's probably good, like a lot of people, especially at that age, in the morning. Don't get him in the afternoon. That's fine. We can do the business in the morning. Sir, there's the bill that we're trying to get passed in the Senate, the immigration bill that Trump.
I mean, this is great theory, Bill, if you're running an old folks home. Yes, they're better in the morning. But we're talking about the leader of the free world here. We're not running a daycare center. And just look at his track record. It is ridiculous. The border, the wars, throwing money out hand over fist, cost of living, all gone through the roof. Public safety and security, out the window. Public resources, not there for citizens who need it. I mean, seriously.
Is blocking. Should we call Senator McConnell? Yes. And it gets on the. He can do that. He's still doing that. I know people who are very close.
Okay.
It's a whole different issue than what he looks like in public. The problem is the one affects the other.
Do you think he's actually going to be the nominee?
Of course.
Really?
That's a foregone conclusion. Really? You're asking me that question?
I am, because on the other
Well,
side
then
of
you're
the.
not following it that closely. This is the done deal.
Okay,
Biden's
but
a done.
hold on.
He has-
I appreciate. Listen,
There's no serious people running against him, and now the primary season is underway. We're already into
the rumors that even Dave Rubin and Megyn Kelly are talking about, that when they get to the Democratic nomination, the Democratic convention, and he's gonna quietly be like, oh, you know what, not gonna do it, and then somebody will slot themselves in. Newsom.
I mean,
Michelle.
this is pure conjecture. This is just people making
I'm
shit.
asking you because other
This is just-
respectable people in the news are suggesting it's a possibility.
I like both Megyn and Dave. They're respectable, but if this is what they're saying, and I don't know that it is, but if that's what
They're
I
saying
believe
there's a story being leaked.
a story being leaked.
But it's
exactly.
on both of their shows. They're definitely exploring it.
Use a little critical thinking on this. A story
Even
being leaked.
Tucker says this, and I know you're going to say Tucker sucks, but I know you're going to say that about him.
Well, he so does, and these two have a lot of loony ideas also. Right-wing loony ideas. I like them both, and they're pretty. Megyn is much more, I think, center. I mean, Dave's good too. He's I think turned on Trump, but
They're definitely
this is
suggesting
just
it.
something they pulled out of their ass, and it's not going to happen. I'll bet you any amount
It was
of
a
money
rumor, I guess, that came out of.
that came out of an ass.
Gonna have to pull this up.
kind
but
you-
it's still on.
the kind you
the
train.
show for people who are relatively
When
credible.
you're leaning over somebody and going, do these another set of dogs or whatever those thing is where you stick your
Doggy dogs?
What is it?
I've never asked for doggy dogs.
What is it when you stick your leg out like that when you're on your?
Bird dog.
No, like
Bird dog.
you're building the muscle in your ass. By
Bird dog.
Bird dog. Okay.
Bird dog.
Well, anyway, that's where it came from. The place
from
where the
bird
bird
dog.
dogs are working on. It's nothing. It's not going to happen.
Okay.
They're going to wheel him out, and he'll be wearing as much makeup as Trump is by then. But if they're smart, what they'll do is write the speech like now, because nothing's going to change. Write the speech now. Have him work on it like every day from now until until this convention, like is in July. And so it's like second nature to him. And so we can just if people just see him make one like speech, like, and it's off a teleprompter, he can do it, but he is a stutterer. You know, I mean, he is somebody working with like that.
I've heard that argument.
Bill, just how delusional can you be? This is ridiculous. You're telling Biden advisors to smokescreen the general public. American citizens, are you listening to yourself? Do you ever watch these podcasts back? He's either fit for the job or he's not. Why are you trying to protect and hide him? He's not working at a fast food restaurant.
I understand.
No,
it,
it's just
but-
part of
but
the equation.
Let's go back 10 years. Wasn't speaking like this.
He wasn't. Just, again, no argument. He looks awful. This is why I've been imploring the Democratic Party to do something and switch him out for somebody, but they're not going to do it. And that is not going to happen. The die is cast. It's the new year. The primaries have started. He is the nominee and will be unless he dies or is incapacitated. So that's a fact we have to all deal with now. How do you best deal with it? Teach him the speech now. That's my number one plan. Teach him the speech now. Have him so it's like the story about Corn Pop. You know, he's got these stories in his head that he likes to tell, and like it's because he's been telling them like any like Borscht Belt hack. He's been telling them for years the same stories, and so like that's his go-to. You got to get it in his head a long time before, and then it's like this is my go-to story. Yeah, I know this, and it's like Bob Hope at the end. You just. You know, Bob Hope would never do a second take, so like, boy, make that monologue easy to say.
As a layman,
Wow, this is super ludicrous. So teach the President of the United States how to talk? While you're at it, teach him how to walk? Teach him how to exit stage left without tripping up? I mean, can he actually hear himself? Can he hear what he's saying? This is stupidly ridiculous. It's almost difficult to even take anything Bill Maher says seriously after looking at this.
both of them alarm me.
Oh, of course.
And I think a lot of laymen like myself are kind of shocked.
But
that
you would
this
vote
is-
for Trump over Biden,
I didn't
perhaps?
vote last time, and I probably wouldn't vote this
Really?
time.
Really? You don't see a difference enough between Biden and Trump?
I don't like Biden at all either.
I get it, but that's, wow.
Here's my other, some of the things. I'm curious about this one for
I'm
you.
not there.
Some of the things that are so alarming about Trump. You're going to say I'm crazy, but I see similarities. People often are like, Trump's a racist. I'm like, so is Biden. No, he's not. I'm like, well, he made racist remarks about Obama. He was homies with Strom Thurmond.
Anyway, stop with the racist. Trump is not a racist. He is definitely not a racist. Biden, Jim Crow Joe, head of the Biden corruption family or crime family? Absolutely. If you don't know whether to vote for me or Trump, you ain't black.
He eulogized the guy. He's responsible for putting more people of color in prison with the 94 crime bill. Like, this is your fucking hero,
You know
this
what?
guy?
I think it's very important that
Tell me I'm wrong.
I
don't, this is just...
what I'm going to say, I think it's very important that we listen to both left and right wing media sources, because I don't trust anybody fully. They both, I've said this many times, they tell you they're feeding a narrative. They're stroking the audience first. They want to tell the audience left and right. But having said that,
You think there's a lesser
I think you're
evil?
listening to too much right wing bullshit these days. I do. I think you're listening to a lot of right
So
wing.
you don't think this guy, all that stuff that he's done that I just listed, is like?
I think it's like, I just.
You think the whole thing
I
with his
just hate
son
Biden.
is totally innocent?
No, I don't think any of
Like,
it's innocent or completely wrong. It's just like boring, because it's like, yeah, if you want to,
It's boring with him though, and completely nefarious with Trump.
if you want to play the game,
All right, I'm convinced this guy wants the border open. I'm absolutely convinced. Something about him that just, I don't know. I've seen a couple of his interviews now, and he did one with Riley Gaines, which was quite creepy and weird. As soon as she brought up, trafficking and stuff, he went all squirmish. It was a bit weird. I don't know.
of picking out somebody who's been in public life for 50 years and who's not a perfect human being, as none of us are.
But then you
And
have,
like-
but,
and
then,
like
but they crucified
obsess
Trump for
about,
the same
like,
shit. That's what I'm saying.
You know, did he work with Strom Thurmond? Yes, he was in the Senate. It's just such a dumb right-wing talking point. There's
Bill.
no truth in it. It's just.
What about the fact that he said, "Oh,
Yeah.
well, we got a colored guy that's,
Yes,
you know, is
again,
clean and smart. It's a fairy tale."
Yes, again.
Really?
Again, you're
If Trump said that, we would all be like, "Holy shit!"
you're so exaggerating the importance of something like that. Is my view of
No,
your.
I felt this way about
so
him.
it's like
when he
you're
was selected as Obama's VP.
It's like this is you're reacting to talking points, which is what they want you to do. To me, like,
She's reacting to what she can see, what she's heard, with her own eyes and her own ears.
there's no
Wow.
contest between what your issues are with Biden, which are issues. They're minor. It's like I feel like you understand this on a physiological level. If we talked about the human body and the difference between dandruff and pancreatic cancer, you would get that. But in politics, I feel like it's very similar, but you're not there with the politics. You just like Biden, when somebody rubs people the wrong way, Hillary,
75 million people
yeah,
don't like him. So
Now, she's actually thinking logically. Now, if she's thinking logically, that's real scary for Bill. Because Bill's got that TDS and he is thinking emotionally because none of his points are coming across with any credibility or any detail.
maybe they also know dandruff and pancreatitis. I mean,
yeah, but
half the country is not. I don't like either of them, by the way. I'm not a Trumper.
First of all, half the country always hates whoever is the other party's president. Hates. That's a given. It doesn't end.
Really?
What
I've
I'm
never
saying is you're
hated-
working backwards from I hate him
I don't
to
hate
like
him.
now why do I hate him? Because he worked with Strom Thurmond on a bill like every senator did.
I don't.
Yeah, but it's more about the policies. It's not about the person. You know, your favorite football star may not lead a perfect life, but you're not judging him based on that. You're judging him based on his performance on the field. And Trump might do things that you disagree with, that you're not comfortable with. Some of the things, the way he says things and that sort of thing. But what about the results? What about the policies? The US and the world is in an absolute mess at the moment. And it's only happened within 3 years. No wars under Trump. Got rid of ISIS within 6 months. Got the NATO countries contributing, meeting their financial obligations. Biden is like a car wreck. You had the documents, and he wasn't even president, and he wasn't protected by the Presidential Records Act. The Hunter Biden laptop, the Biden crime family, wars popping up all over the place. Billions and billions of dollars going to Ukraine. And at least 8.5 million people coming across that border, putting pressure on all resources, hospitals, housing, costing $7,000 to $10,000 per person. Meanwhile, there are cities with citizens in that are living in tents, living on the street, and you really just can't compare the two. You really can't.
Like,
I hate him.
and then
I don't
it's
like Gavin
because
Newsom
his son
more.
is a fucking, like he's got a million fucking pockmarks on it. It's like,
what would be your thought? This is one I
It's
feel
just
like it
not-
speak a little bit on.
it's not. It doesn't rise to the level of the hate you have for him.
I don't hate him.
It's
I don't
but
like
it's
him.
like
I don't like him.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
get
think
it.
he's great at his job.
He's just.
He does seem to be incredibly senile. to
But I
me.
do think you've been listening to a lot of right wing.
I listen to.
I feel
both.
like
I
you're-
watch you all the time.
Well, I'm not right wing, but
I'm saying.
But I say a lot of the things right wingers appreciate me saying about how stupid the left is.
You call it like you see it.
Yes, I do.
Well, okay. Can I ask you? What do you think of Gavin Newsom?
Oh, here we go.
I just had him on my show.
I know. I thought you were a little
I-
soft there. Thought you could have gone a little harder on the guy. Like you brought up
Getting
almonds,
called out,
nailed
Billy.
him on that, but he's taking money from Big Ag, Bill. That's why he didn't like. Oh yeah, that's almonds. Anyway, I'm building desalination plants. You're taking tons of money from Big Ag, which is why almonds are still in California.
That's true. I didn't know what the You got me. I didn't know what the answer to that is.
That's the answer.
and-
Or like, how come PG&E was allowed to get away with the 2018 fires? One of the top
Well,
contributors to
you
his
know,
get.
I've got like 12 minutes at the top of the show to cover the whole world. I wasn't about to like make it all about the almond.
Yeah, but if you got 12 minutes, why are you telling everyone you love the guy? You got a man crush. You're crushing on this. I was going to call him a boy. You're crushing on Newsom. And it's getting ridiculous at this point.
You know, the fact that I brought up the almonds
All right, okay,
is something
touche.
nobody else would
Touche, my
even
friend,
fucking
touche.
do.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
So
You're right.
I'm all right on that one.
You're good.
But I've been trying to get Gavin to run for president for a very long time.
Oh,
And
are you serious? Are we living in Gavin Newsom's California? Why?
yeah, and I'm sure your life is just a
I
nightmare.
left because of him.
Oh, right, you're
Moved
in
to
Florida.
Miami.
Now, PBD was on this podcast last week, I think it was. Now, if you want to take a look at that one, just check out the video up here somewhere. PBD took him to school and they talked about Gavin Newsom. And PBD had Bill Maher foaming at the mouth because Bill Maher didn't know what to say. He obviously hasn't looked back at that podcast because he's still talking about the same nonsense.
Here since '83,
Okay.
and I love where I live. I love California.
I lived in Malibu.
I'm dug in here. I did in 2020 when there was a week when the sun was blotted out from the sky because of fires. I did look at moving to Florida. Now, I think it was a little like when I was contemplating suicide when I was in
Stay where you are.
high school and college. If I got laid once, I would stop to kind of, and I don't think I was ever really going to do it. But I did actually, or get married. You know, I was engaged once, but you know, there are things you in your life you're like, you know what, I might do that. And part of you is like, yeah, never going to do that. Okay. So, I mean, and I think moving to Florida is in that category, but I did look at it because I share your frustrations with California. I do. And those are the things I was saying to him.
I mean, this is one
The
I think I could speak
but
to
again,
pretty eloquently.
But are you happier in Florida?
Yeah.
What is it in Florida that compensated more than what you had here?
It feels less crazy than it does here. Here, you just
Florida's less crazy.
Yeah. Hear me out. Hear me out on this.
Really?
Here's
the
what I
place where
mean.
the people are
Okay.
on bath salts, like
Your
fucking an
girl,
alligator?
Sage Steele asked me, she's like, what was the moment when you felt like California had lost its mind? And it was a piece of legislation that I can't recall.
Did it affect your life?
But Bill,
Did it affect your
is
life?
the crime affecting our lives? Is the homelessness affecting our
was
lives?
crime affecting your life here in
Yeah,
California?
absolutely. My house got broken into.
Your house got broken into.
Yes, and guess what? The relationship with PG&E, my house burned down in 2018.
Where's your house?
I lived in Malibu.
Malibu.
On Bonsall, yeah.
You got broken into in Malibu?
I got...
Things
So-
are rough out there.
like, and it was so nuts.
I'm voting
and
for Trump.
Guess who let the guy out?
He just exposed himself there, folks. He doesn't care about the common person that doesn't live in Malibu. He's just surprised that, okay, it's okay if people are breaking into, poor people's homes. But what? They're breaking into homes in Malibu? Yeah, Bill. You're probably next.
During COVID, because I
Wait a
got
minute.
the letter. Newsom.
He thinks it's
It was the guy's third offense. He broke into our house. He had duct tape and a video camera. Anyway, long story, but third strike, guy goes to jail, gets let out during COVID. I mean, give me a fucking break. You're not going to hold PG&E accountable for that fire in 2018.
Yeah.
You're going to decriminalize everything but regulate nothing.
What you got to
You're
say, Bill?
prioritizing the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Well-
Come on. Really?
Again, my thing with Gavin is, first of all, he can win. First of all, I just like him. I think he's really smart. Is he a politician? Yes. That's the... Hello, is he slick? Good. I'm fucking glad he's slick. Slick people win elections. Clinton was slick. Obama was pretty
How do you
slick.
feel about the way he handled
Good.
COVID?
Not
California
for-
was the
not
last
for it.
state to reopen.
Not
Jeffrey Dahmer was pretty slick. You wouldn't want him running your country. Is that his name? Jeffrey Dahmer? Whatever.
for it.
Shut the schools forever.
Not for it.
Mind you, with no mask
I know.
on at the French Laundry after saying you can't.
Again, you are just. I think you've been captured by this.
No, I haven't.
This is
He's a
what-
hypocrite,
this is what-
and that bothers
this-
me. The rules were absurd.
Okay.
You could, okay, Bill.
I know, but it's
Bill,
like
they were
really
absurd.
You're obsessing
I'm not,
again
though.
about
what was done right.
You're obsessing about the dandruff.
If he was
went to the wrong restaurant. Really?
Bill,
This is
he
like
didn't
again.
follow his own rules. If you're going to be a leader, you lead by example. That's not fucking dandruff. If he was the COO of a company, wasn't there like
there's
a $90
there's two choices.
billion?
I can almost guarantee whoever he's going to run against from the Republican Party, although every time I make the decision independently, I almost guarantee that I will think he's smarter, better at government, which Republicans don't even take seriously. They don't know how government works. Democrats are at least wonks. They actually know how government works. It's actually very complicated. You have to study it. It's arcane. It takes a lot of people in a lot of rooms at 3 a.m. with boxes of stale pizza and coffee and making and crafting laws that you'll never read but affect your life. People who actually really get things done.
Okay.
Is he that kind of person? Yes, I think he is. And generally, we're on the same page philosophically. Is he too far woke? Absolutely. And I've said that to him many times. And I hope that if he runs for president, one of the good effects of it, it will move him necessarily to the center, which I would like to see him more. But compared to what they're putting forth on the other
Can
side.
we talk about
Biden's moved more far left. So, Bill, your theory is numpty Looney Tune. Now wrap that back up and put it in your back pocket and never bring it out again.
DeSantis outside of his social positions?
I mean,
you're talking
what
about
if
the
you need
coffee and the
could you envision a day when you would need an abortion in your life?
Okay,
still?
I said other than the social issues, but let's discuss it. Hold on.
Could you still have a baby?
Maybe. I still get my period.
Maybe,
Not in
baby.
menopause yet. But
There you go.
hold on. I agree with
Okay.
you. I said outside
Let's
of
say
the
you're
social
pregnant.
issues. But let's hold on.
Your girlfriend gets you pregnant. I mean,
Hold on. Initially, his position before he ran and got pushed all the way to the right was 15 weeks. I agree with 15 weeks.
Right.
15 weeks to
Well-
me is plenty of time. Europe is 12.
15 weeks, 12 weeks, it's all a fucking joke to me because either you believe in the shit or you don't.
Bill, there's
like-
nuance. You can't make
What
it black
the
and
heck?
white
Of
like
course
that.
you can.
No,
It's-
you
you're
can't.
talking about-
It's not that
either
simple.
you believe-
A
but-
late-term abortion, they're anesthetizing the child and taking it apart in pieces,
But
as
I mean,
opposed to
on a certain level, if you think it's, and here's my
it's a
position,
continuum. It's shades of gray.
I do think it's, and I'm completely okay with it. That's my position. But it is definitely becoming a life. So if you're okay to be like, well, it would be
Whoa,
barbaric. 8 weeks, but
Bill, they have to
6, of course.
anesthetize the fetus and cut it into pieces.
Yeah.
Like, come on. There's a continuum.
Yeah,
where
that's worse, but it's still.
But,
You're
okay,
still- you're
then
still
why in
stopping
Europe is
this-
it 12 weeks?
Okay,
Why?
but-
And no
but,
one
like,
seems to have a problem
As
with
soon
that.
as you get pregnant, it's like the raft that's going down the river, and it's going to get to the falls. Now you can before it gets to the falls, but if you don't, it would get to the falls and then drop out of the lady and become a human.
Yeah.
Which
Nothing's going to
again
be
does
all
not
or
bother me at
nothing.
all. I think we have too many humans already, and I feel like if we never met you, you can't miss us, and we can't miss you because we never met you.
Somewhere between conception and birth, there is a continuum. And the answer, truthfully, no one's going to
Yeah.
get everything they want here, is somewhere in the middle. His initial proposition was 15 weeks. That seems fair to me. You get birth control, you get the morning after pill, you get 4 months. I'm like, okay, Europe's 12. I can live with 4 months. 6 is absurd. I agree. And he got pushed there.
The problem is, I noticed when Gavin was on the show a week ago, I noticed like the girls around the office that day, a little more makeup.
That's dandruff. That's your dandruff.
No, I mean,
That
it's
is your
not,
bullshit
it's not
right
it's
there.
not the point.
That's not the meat and potatoes.
Calm down. It's not the point I'm making. I'm not making a point.
Okay, folks, I had to leave that there. This was just getting too crazy. I know we have to end this video and come to a conclusion, but my goodness, so much to unpack. I never really watched that much of Bill Maher, but since I've been watching a little bit more of him, his takes are super crazy and weird. He wants Biden's staff and handlers to teach him how to talk, to hide him and train him and just to bring him out on special occasions. He doesn't care about all the bad things he's done. He's in denial that he has dementia, and he thinks that he is the same as Trump. Now, Trump can do a 2.5-hour speech. Biden can't even cope with the 3-minute one. And then that lover boy crush with Gavin Newsom. What is up with that? He doesn't care about his policies. He just cares about him winning an election. He's more impressed with his staff putting extra makeup on because Gavin Newsom's coming. Seriously? And he said he's happy with ending a life. Doesn't matter if it's at the beginning of the stage or at the end of the stage. He doesn't have a problem with it. Now, full credit to Jillian Michaels. She really came across as a logical thinker. She was really in tune, and I thought her takes were very based. She wasn't a fan of Biden, and she wasn't a fan of Trump either. But she is looking at policies, and she has first-hand experience of what these policies that Gavin Newsom implemented in California. Her home in Malibu got broken into by some dude who had committed 3 crimes prior and got let out of jail during COVID. So she did what most smart Californians who are in a financial position to do so have moved out and gone to Florida. So she had some great takes, I thought. Now, I'd love to get your take on it. Drop your thoughts and comments in the comment section and I will go through and respond as I normally do. Want to thank you for tuning in, and if you want to help a brother out get to that 1,000 sub club, make sure you hit the like, smash the subscribe and ring the notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next video.